Welcome back. If you're watching this video, you should have already drawn, designed, and cut the base for your amplifier on the CNC mill. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to create the cover for our amplifier and run the toolpaths in Autodesk Inventor. To begin with, I have Inventor open up on my computer. I'm going to select File from the top left-hand corner, and I'm going to go to New. When our menu opens up, we're going to start with Standard IPT, this one right here, and click Create. As always, we're going to start with a 2D sketch and place it on my XY plane. Click Front in your World View Cube. And to begin with, we're going to start with our Rectangle tool. So we're going to select Rectangle. We're going to start at our origin, click and stretch out a rectangle. Our horizontal distance here is going to be 3.5. Press the Tab key on your keyboard, and our vertical distance is going to be 8. So I have 3.5 at the top, 8 on the right hand side. Press Enter on the keyboard. Okay, now we're going to go to the top, Finish Sketch, green check mark, Finish Sketch, and we're going to click click Home in our World View Cube to zoom all and see what we're doing. Next, in our ribbon bar at the top, we're going to select Extrude. And we want to extrude in the flip direction to get this orange arrow to point away from us. And we're going to extrude a distance of 1.875. Okay, flip direction, 1.875. Click OK. Next, we're going to create the slot for our amplifier to sit in. So we're going to take a 2D sketch, place this on the front view. Take a 2D sketch, place it on your front view, and we're going to click Front. Okay, that zooms us in so we can see everything. Next, we're going to start with our Rectangle tool. We're going to start at our top edge. We're going to click and draw a rectangle down. The horizontal distance is going to be 0.75. Press the Tab key on your keyboard. Our vertical distance is going to be 8. Okay, so I have 0.75 down here, 8 up here. On the right hand side, press Enter on your keyboard. Okay, next we're going to dimension this so it can sit on our iPad amplifier correctly. So we're going to get a dimension tool. We're going to dimension from the right hand side of our part. When it turns red, click, and to the right hand side of the rectangle that we just drew. Click. Bring this dimension up. This dimension is going to be 1.63. 1.63, green check mark. Okay. Next we need a little finger hole so that we can touch the home button on our iPad. So we're going to do that with another rectangle. So I'm going to get a rectangle tool. I'm going to start on the edge here of the rectangle that we just created. I'm going to stretch this out. This dimension here for the horizontal dimension is going to be 0.375. Press the Tab key on the keyboard, and it's going to be 3/4 of an inch or 0.75 tall. So 375 down here, 0.75 up here. Enter on the keyboard. Okay. Once we have that done, we're going to place a dimension on here. So let's press the Escape tool, let go of the rectangle, and we're going to get our dimension tool next. When we dimension, we want to dimension from the top of our part to the top of the rectangle that we just created and bring that dimension out to the side. This dimension is going to be 3.625. We're going to type in green check mark. Okay, now we have to trim out this nasty little line in here. So let's take and get our Escape tool, let go of our dimension, and we're going to use our Trim tool right here to trim that out. Okay, you're going to have to click twice to get rid of that line. If this comes up where it says that there's a curve that's dimension, we're going to press Cancel. It's not going to let us trim that out. So we're going to take this 0.75 dimension, right click and delete it. This 3.735 dimension, right click, delete that. And now we should be able to trim that line out of there. Okay, so we have that trimmed out. The other dimensions, as long as we didn't change anything, they should still be the proper dimensions that are on there. Okay. Next, we're going to take and ease this corner here by putting a fillet on there. So we're going to come up to the top. We're going to get our fillet tool from our ribbon bar. It should come up as a default of 0.125. If it does, that's great. If it does not, you're going to change this to 0.125. Then we're going to select the two areas that we want to fillet in. So I want to fillet this corner here to that corner. And I want this edge here to this edge here. Press escape, and that should put your fillets on those two outside corners. Okay, that looks great. Let's go green check mark, finish sketch. And now we're going to take and extrude this. We're going to extrude. The orange arrow is pointing towards us. We want it to cut and go away from us, so we're going to flip our arrow. We're going to change the distance here to 0.5 because that's way too deep what the default came in as. And I want the cut selected as well. So flip arrow direction, 0.5, and cut. And then click OK. This looks awesome. Our drawing's done. We're going to take and save this, then continue with our tool pass. So let's go up to the top, go to Orange File, go down to Save As. Make sure that you're in your H drive, first initial last name 000. If that does not automatically show up here, click on this pull down menu, go all the way down to the bottom to choose that. For a file name, you're going to enter in your last name, and we're going to call this cover. So the previous one was the amplifier base. This one is the cover, last name, and cover. Click Save. Okay, once that's saved, we're going to take and create our tool pass so that the CNC mill can read and cut this. The tabs that are at the top, we're going to come across and select the CAM tab, and we're going to go to our setup folder. You can tell our ribbon bar has changed. We're going to go to our setup folder here and set up our part. Now, coming down with our tabs, as you remember from the base that we did, we're going to work these tabs from left to right, and each tab we're going to take a look at from top to bottom. In this first tab that comes up, I'm going to change our origin. See how it's coming up in the middle? I want to change that from stock box point to model origin, and that puts it down in the bottom left-hand corner. Our next tab we're going to go across to is the stock tab. We're going to change relative size box to fixed size box. Here we're going to take where it says round up to the nearest inch or half inch. You're going to take and highlight that, and we're going to type in 0. Okay, so after we do that, this should read 3.5, 8 inches. The next one down is 1.875, and round up to the nearest 0 is right here. Next tab going across, we're going to highlight the number 1001, and we're going to change that to your last name and cover. Once you have that done, click OK. Next, that creates our setup. Next, what we want to do is come over and create our tool path. So we're going to go to the 2D milling section here and go Pocket. Okay, once we click on Pocket, our ribbon bar, our model browser on the left-hand side changes. Has a few more tabs on it. We're going to take a look at each tab going from left to right, and each tab we're going to take a look at from top to bottom. In the first tab here, we want to select our tool, so we're going to click the tool button here. In the little menu on the left-hand side, scroll down just a little bit. Underneath sample libraries, we want to find end mills, and we're going to choose 1/4 inch flat end mill. So right here, tool number 2, and click select. That puts our tool down here at the origin when we start. Next, we're going to go across to the second tab where we're going to establish the geometry that we want to cut. And here, we just want to select our pocket. So come into the bottom and make sure you're selecting the bottom of that part to get cut. And click when it highlights red. Then it changes blue after you select it. Our third tab going across is where we're going to establish some of our heights. The first one, clearance height, we're going to select and change that to stock top. And our clearance offset, we're going to change to 0.2. Highlight this here and change to 0.2. Okay, the next one down, retract height, stock top 0.2, that one looks good. The third one down, feed height, we're going to change that to stock top and 0.2. So once again, clearance height, stock top 0.2, retract height, stock top 0.2, feed height, stock top 0.2. Okay, let's go on to our fourth tab. In here, 1/2 inch is a lot to cut in one pass, so we're going to check multiple depths. And for our maximum roughing step down, we're going to highlight this and change that to 0.25. .25 is what we're going to type in there. And going underneath the multiple depths, where it says stock to leave, we want to uncheck that box there. So once again, this menu, all we did was come down, multiple depths selected, change the maximum roughing step down to 0.25, and we unchecked stock to leave. Final tab over, we're going to click. In the linking parameters, we're underneath where it says allow rapid retract. We're going to click in this area to highlight that area, and we're going to change that to 0.2. Okay? Come down into leads and transitions. We're going to uncheck lead in, uncheck lead out. And our ramp style, we're going to change from helix to plunge. Okay? Last tab over, let's double check it to make sure we're right. Our safe distance is 0.2. Uncheck lead in, uncheck lead out, and plunge is our ramp style. Then click OK. Okay? Now we're going to come up to simulate at the top, left-hand corner underneath the orange file. We want to have our stock top on, and then you can click play. And it's going to show you how that part is going to get cut out. That looks good. Press close. And now we're going to come up to the top, post-process, right next to simulate and underneath the 3D model tab. Post-process. In this menu, we want to make sure that this is going to our H drive. If this doesn't say your H drive in here, we're going to take and click on that button, select your H drive, and select folder. Your name should already transfer through here, last name and cover, and then click post. Confirm that you have your name typed right and cover, and click save. That's going to get a second to work. When it finishes, it's going to show you all the X, Y, Z coordinates and the M and G codes that it takes to cut your part on the CNC mill. We're going to X this out in the top right hand corner. And we're going to go up to Orange File and go down to Save. Let's do a quick save here to save all of our work. Once that's saved, we're going to X out of Inventor on the computer that we're working on. We're going to go over the computer that has the green tag CNC Mills on it, and we're going to log on to one of those computers to find this icon right here, CNC Mill. Click to launch that. We're going to select Translate Execute. You're going to go find your Lammers cover program. Click Open. Click OK on this menu, and then we're going to click Preview. Type the letters F on your keyboard. Now this is when you're going to stop, go get your teacher and your block of wood so that he can load it into the mill and help you cut it out. Nice job. Now you go get your teacher and your block of wood.